I made $500,000 on TikTok because I was sad and depressed, and I went emotionally shopping and I shared it with the world. Let me back it up a little bit. In 2019, I lost everything. I lost my relationship of 6 years, my job, my apartment. I even had to move back in with my parents. I did originally move in with my sister, but she had 2 little kids at the time. And for my sister, who was trying to keep a household with little kids, like, it just wasn't the most ideal situation. I eventually had to move back in with my parents. And then guess what? I got kicked out of my parents' house. I'm in college. That's literally the only thing I had going for me. I was in my I think it was my last semester, if I didn't fail any classes, but I was infamously known to fail classes. So that was the only thing that I had going for me. And the fact that I was in a relationship with my fiance now, Luis. But like I said, my mom and dad kicked me out. So the only place I had to go was with my boyfriend, Luis, even though we hadn't even been dating for that long, like literally, I think a couple of months. I was broke. I had bad credit. Like, I literally couldn't go and just like live on my own by myself, even though I was like a 26 or 27-year-old adult. So Luis had to ask his mom and dad, who he was also living with at the time, if I can move in there. And that is where my happy ass went. He helped me move all of my stuff in, which wasn't much, from my parents' house. And then I like kept some stuff in my car. And I remember he woke up to go to work and I was so depressed, and he felt so bad for me because I just had like an extreme change in like my life or whatever. And he told me, he was like, what can I do to make you feel better? And I said, coffee and some money to go shopping. Luis, being the sweetheart that he is, he literally went into the kitchen, made me some homemade coffee, and then he left me $20. Might be thinking like, okay, $20 isn't a lot, which it's not, but I shopped where I could afford. I knew that if he left me $20, it would be enough to get like at least 10 things. This was back when the dollar store was only $1, and then I could get like some lashes or something like that at like the beauty store down the street. My depressed ass went shopping that morning, and the dopamine I received from the cute new dollar store shit was enough to keep me going. I stayed in school, I applied to jobs, and I successfully graduated later that year and landed a job at Poshmark headquarters. That's a different story for a different day, but I truly feel in my heart that my emotional shopping is what got me through. Not the only thing, but is what helped me get through that like really weird transition of time. I adjusted to my new life. I was using shopping as an emotional outlet, but it was fine because I was shopping at places like DD's Discount, Burlington, the dollar store, and I was living my life. And then I started to see everybody posting about this platform called TikTok. Given the fact that I just graduated from Cal State East Bay with a marketing degree, when I looked at TikTok, I saw it as like an opportunity to become a content creator. I had always wanted to be a content creator. I just knew that if I wanted to blow up or like go viral or whatever, I had to do it right then and there, because TikTok was at the beginning. It was at a growing point. It was at a point where you could get on, post videos, and go viral. I mean, that's how Charli D'Amelio became like super famous, because the app wasn't super saturated yet. I hope I explained that right. I was doing my makeup one day, getting ready for a baby shower. I think it was a baby shower. And God spoke to me in a very clear voice. This is the only time that I can think of that I know it was God speaking directly to me. And I just heard a little voice, and it said, start posting content on TikTok. Now, you can call that God, you can call that intuition, you can call it whatever you want, schizophrenia, I don't care. But I listened to that voice, and I started to think in my head for the next couple of weeks, like, what can I post on social media? Like, what can my niche be? One weekend, me and Luis decided to get out of Sacramento, and we drove up to Lake Tahoe. And as I was driving up there with him, he was driving, I saw this girl, and she posted a video, and it was her holding a Target bag, and she said, here's a haul of everything that I bought with the last $20 in my bank account. And I resonated with that so much, because I had been infamously known to spend like my last dollars on shopping. I'm not saying that as a flex, it's just I related to her so much. And when I saw that video, I was like, this is it, Brooklyn. This is what you can post about. Like, so we got to Tahoe. I didn't have any money. I'm working my new job. I'm paying off debt. Me and Luis are trying to save up to move out. So I didn't have like any of this disposable money to go shopping. But what I did have is $100 to go gambling, because one thing about me is I've always loved gambling. So I won $300 gambling that day. And I told Luis the next day we're gonna wake up, we're gonna go to Ross here in Tahoe, and I'm gonna buy like $100 worth of stuff, and I'm gonna do a haul just like that girl on TikTok did, because I totally showed him that TikTok. And he said, whatever you wanna do. Like, he's always been super supportive since day one. And that is exactly what I did. I went, I bought some cute shit. I went home, I got in my car, and I said, this is a haul of everything I bought with my earnings from the casino. And I posted that video on TikTok. I went to sleep, and the next day I woke up and it was at 500,000 views. Like, I remember waking up that morning and being like, oh my gosh, this is it. Shopping is my niche. That is exactly what I did. I literally went shopping every day. I posted a haul every day, and in 30 days I gained 100,000 followers on TikTok. I actually hit 1,000 followers while I was in the waiting room to get surgery on having my right ovary removed. So I started making money on social media. I had no idea the amount of money. Like, I remember having 100,000 followers on TikTok, and a brand reached out and they literally said in their email, they'll pay you $8,000 to post this video. And I was like, I was shooketh. Every time I would get paid, I would use money to go shopping, and I would post these massive shopping hauls here on TikTok, and you guys would eat them up. And in 2 years, I made $500,000, and I cannot be more thankful. Moral of the story is post the TikTok. Post what you actually give a shit about. Post yourself being authentic. Post yourself in your truest form. Nobody wants to see you pretending to be somebody on the internet that's cool, because you alone, you're cool. Post a TikTok, because you never know how it could literally change your life.